What's up, my good people? Welcome to the CJ Money Way Show. Today, I have the men and women trying to bring back Steel Town Records. Hey, today I got my man Kenneth Joseph on here and his team, and they're gonna explain to you guys the things that they're looking for. They got some hot things going on for the record label, the rebirth of Steel Town Records, and so we're gonna hear from them today. I'm excited. I hope you guys be excited too. Hey, what's up, Ken?
Hey, what's going on, young man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Finding a glass of wine, 1775 bottle of Kim. Would you like some?
How you all doing today?
Fine, man.
Doing good,
Doing
doing
good.
good.
Really good.
There.
Doing great.
Thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. So, Ken, tell us about your vision, man. This vision that you have for Steel Town Records, and actually, before I get there, let's talk about who was the actual founder of Steel Town Records.
Gordon Keefe was. Gordon Keefe, aka Mr. William Adams, was the founder. Yes, and it was pretty much created by five men. But with Mr. Gordon Keefe actually being the solid founder, you had a Ludi Washington, you had a Ben Brown, a Maurice Rogers, a Willie Spencer, and a Gordon Keefe. But obviously, it was Mr. Keefe who was the founder because it was registered. I mean, it was set. Steeltown was actually at 1025 Taney Street in Gary, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I stayed on Taney Street too. That's over there on the west side, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, wow, you
Yeah,
stayed
we
there?
stayed on Taney Street when I was younger. So,
Oh, you may know my cousin
so
Cassandra.
Mister So Mr. Keith was the founder. So I guess my next question is, since this is what we're talking about, who actually founded the Jackson Five?
Gordon Keefe.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he was
Gordon
their
Keefe.
manager too?
Well, you had like different roles. Ben Brown, to my understanding, was like the president. When Mr. Keefe couldn't take them around, Ben Brown pretty much acted as that role while Mr. Gordon Keefe was working in the steel mill.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we was talking, man, and you said that Mr. Keith had a vision, as far as back then, and that you can see this vision now of what he was saying that Steel Town Records could be. So tell us a little bit about this vision that you was talking about, man.
Well, as far as with his music career, what he wanted was he had a passion, according to Mr. Gordon Keefe, for young talent. That's what his passion was. And it was like Stilltown was created in inspirations of Motown records. Back then that Motown was actually the thing for every black man, right? And they that's where they copied it from. So that was the vision, and they from that Stilltown at that time was, according to Mr. Keefe, for what he shared with me, was a label that brought talent to the label as a front. Like you had, like Mr. Keefe had his acts. One of the acts was the Jackson Five, and another group called the Rivers and Waves, plus Michael, another group that the world mistaken for the Jackson Five. Then he had, you had other. Ludi Washington had their groups, Mr. Maurice Rogers had their groups, and so forth. And they brought people to the label to record, write material, and stuff like that. He created out of the five, there were three men, and the vision was to get their stuff published. Also at Stilltown was Mr. Ben, and the publishing was called Ben Mo Keefe Publishing. So Ben for Benjamin, Mo for Maurice Rogers, and Keefe for Mr. Gordon Keefe. Ben Mo Keefe Publishings was formed along with that to promote raw talent in Gary, apparently to be almost similar in the style of a Motown. That was their direction then. This is before they actually signed the Jackson Five.
So so I see you got a pretty good team here, man. You want to introduce your team and what everybody role is?
I think I'll let each one do that better because one can do it better than themselves as the individual. Okay, team, you can go and introduce yourself.
Let's start with you, Benita.
Hi, I'm Bonita. I'm the secretary. I really have dual roles. So I do contracts and I also help with the marketing part as well as uh, I can say probably I just everything. I'm just into everything with them as far as like I said, marketing, the secretary, the contract writing.
Okay. Yeah, I picked Benita because I spoke with her and Ken last week on the phone, so I kind of like I
Yes,
kind of like knew
yes.
her voice. So what's up with you, G man? What's your part in this, Britt?
Um, Pardon me. So I gonna be playing Eddie Silvers, the guy that wrote one of the songs that they performed in Jackson 5 called Big Boy. Um, yeah, so that's a little bit about what I'll be doing in the production.
Okay. What's up with you, Merv?
Oh, shoot, that's easy. I do a lot of things. If it's not tech, right, it's financial, right, making sure, right, that operations is going through, and then also vice president. So I'm just more task orientated towards the operation flow
Okay.
of the project.
Miss
Yeah,
Austin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what role you play in all of this?
Yes, sir. So I pretty much come on as a like an admin. Ken and I was working on another project, and he, told me about his vision, and I seen some of the things he did, and I pretty much helped to get everything organized, help with admin work, and anything else he need me to do, I'm here. I also have a little history in some film production. So as we go further along with casting and producing the film, I'll have my hands in helping with that as well.
Okay, okay, sound good. Mr. Lennon, I ain't get a
uh,
chance to meet you. How you doing, man?
okay, I'm good. Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Okay, we finally got it rolling. I had to go to my laptop, but it's all good. Yeah, man. Just excuse me. I want to first of all thank everybody for giving me the moral support I needed. I had to go out of town to Louisiana last week for a funeral. My grandmother's 94-year-old cousin Claude passed, and not only did I go to pay my respect, but I was one of the pallbearers. So I
Mm,
felt compelled to do that, and so I let everybody know in advance what had happened and that I was going to be out of pocket for a minute. But I got back a few days ago, and I needed to kind of unwind and catch my breath. So I got the message from Ken about the conference today. So I got the information, and here I am. But my role is that of a researcher. And Kenneth will tell you, we've been doing this, but a little over a year now, Ken.
Yeah, hardly doing it.
You know,
Yes, absolutely. FBI style. Go ahead, Lynn.
well, it's just a matter of trying to connect the dots and everything. And I feel a project like this is really important because you got to help people connect the dots and see what Gary was like back in the day. I've seen documentaries. I've seen we saw the miniseries that they did in 1992, I think it was. And but you know this project here, Steel Town to Motown, will really focus in on what was happening with Mr. Gordon Keith. And Mr. Gordon Keith,
mm-hmm.
unfortunately, has I haven't seen him in any of the documentaries that were done when he was alive, and all that kind of stuff. So his story needs to be told, and the significant role that he played, with the forming of the Jackson Five, and the fact that Steeltown is the one who gave them a break before Motown. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. But I'm here to do what I can to help move this project forward. I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, let me also add that we also are working on getting merchandise sold. I also do help with part of the marketing with getting some of the still shots and photos we need because that's a major part with us trying to get funding to push the project.
Okay. Now, I don't know who this question would be for, but I was talking to Ken, and so on my podcast, I did like a little intro or what you call it, mid roll, or I think I got it in the mid roll to promote you guys, Steel Town Records, the Rebirth or however you want to say it. But if you have anything, Benita or Miss or any one of you guys, anything that you have recorded that you might wanna use, I can put it on there, man, and try to help you promote it as best as I can. That's my reasoning for being here. That's the reason that I was happy Ken asked me to do this with you guys. I'm excited about, Steel Town Records, because actually I didn't know about Steel Town Records until Ken brought it up to me. Then I started Googling and I searched it up myself. And so I guess this can be to anybody. This question can be to anybody. So why start up Steel Town Records now? What's the reason or what's behind why you guys want to do it now?
One of the main reasons why I started up now is because Mr. Gordon Keefe left this world not having his legacy, not getting his legacy told, shared, or reaching his goals, all of the above, along with never been told secrets to the reason and how the Jacksons got to where they were at that time. That's one of the main reasons. There's other people involved, Mr. Gordon Keefe and others, like the other four men that are no longer here. And just like Raynard Jones, the teenager that really molded him. I consider him as the manufacturer. Because without Raynard Jones, there would not have been no Jackson 5, period. So that's one of the main reasons why. Because I don't think it's fair to the people that, everyone has allowed the Jacksons into their lives, right? And they did inspirational things and they touched us. They did great things, but everything should be included. And I do understand that certain things, in order to make it to the top, right, you have to leave some of the weight off the boat so you won't sink. But especially if you were so to come, you would come back, you wouldn't forget them, right? Then it should be done. The whole thing, it was set on promotions and fairy tales about how it all started. So that's one of the main reasons why I believe that for Still Time to be Rebirth, and it wasn't completed. Mr. Gordon Keith's legacy, it didn't reach his goal. Still Town died out, I think, in 1971. It was created between 64, 65, something like that. 63, 64. And it died out in 1971. And that was the actual time when the Jacksons was actually being molded in Raynard Jones' basement. The same time Still Town was being made by these five men, brilliant men, right? It was on the other side of town was the Jackson being molded and shaped. Because when you think about that, right? What I look at that as this. Let's say every last one of us had car dealerships except for the podcaster, right? The podcaster is the manufacturer, right? They make the cars. They make all kinds of cars. So each one of us, right, have a Cadillac dealership or a Chevy dealership back in the 50s, 60s, or whatever. There's the customers that comes to order and see these cars on our displays. So that's how we make these. Well, we don't make them. That's how we order for the cars to be made. And when the cars are made with the podcaster, he makes all the orders, all the cars, and he ships them to each one of us. And from there, we're able to show our brilliant cars, all calibers of cars, at our dealership, right? And then with that, people can buy. Again, without manufacturers, you wouldn't have these brilliant cars. So that's how it was with Raynard Jones. And Steel Town, from Steel Town to Motown, the series tells the stories that'll blow everyone's mind. It's even what Hollywood either knows or don't want to use, right? Or they don't care to use because they know it unravels. When you think of Steel Town Records, it goes back to the very beginning. When you think of Jackson 5, it goes back to the very beginning. Anything before anything was evolved with Steel Town. And that was never told. So that's why we think that Steel Town needs to be revamped, rebirthed in all kinds of ways, from the music side to the motion picture side. it can be a conglomerate story that can go on for like about 2 years. Mr. Keith just constantly telling all these stories. Also with Mr. Maurice Rogers, we never mentioned him. He was a last man standing with Steel Town Records. He's still alive to this day. He's just made 80. We've had a chance to interview him. We've had a brilliant conversation. We talked to him, like the first time was like 2 hours and 30 minutes, and the next time was like 5 hours. Just getting information out of him. We learned a lot of great things with him. And he's very young, spirited, and just like he never left. His memory is fresh, and he took us right back to that time, and that was a great experience. The team can tell you themselves, that moment. So yeah, that's why we believe strongly it should, and that's something the world needs to know.
Mm-hmm. So before I ask you guys about this, so during these conversations with Ben Brown and Mr. Keith and all them, did any of them know that when the Jackson 5 was first formed, that Michael Jackson would be who he was?
Yes, Mr. Gordon Keith was the one that stated that story. Matter of fact, you could see it on YouTube. I posted some of the stuff on there called Steel Town Untold Stories of the Jackson 5. You can see it there. And he talks about that. He talks about, it's something about when he went there, when he first went there, how he saw Michael and he just knew Michael. Michael just stood out, according to Mr. Keith, from when he first saw him. And he said the way how Michael leaped over to grab or fix a microphone card, the way he did it, he knew that he had to have picked Michael. And he said Michael was the reason why he picked the Jackson 5. So Mr. Keith would be the one, according to Mr. Keith. Mr. Maurice Rogers didn't really too much speak on that because at that time, when the Jacksons was actually signed to Steel Town, Mr. Maurice had already left for California, according to what he shared with us. So, again, Steel Town was created between 63, 64, 63, after Mr. Gordon Keith came out of the military, and he got back with all his guys, and that's when they put it together around that time. Mr. Maurice left around like 63, 65 estimated, according to him. Yeah. But so it was Mr. Keith. He just knew that Michael would be the one. Just like everyone that Michael interacted with, they just knew that he would be the one. They just knew that he would be, he was an old man in a little boy's body. They just knew that he could sing the song, better than him. And it's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the legend of Michael Jackson lives on, man. Just last week, my mother had her 70th birthday party, and my wife hired one, the people that impersonate Michael and do the songs or whatever. It was pretty cool, man. Just Michael is Michael, man. So I hear what you're saying. So as far as the film that you're talking about, where are you at with it? And what are you actually looking for as far as artists, as far as actors and, producers and things of that nature?
Okay, so we're in we're in the beginning stages. But the reason why I say very, because the story is so vast and it's so big. We want to make this a total cinematic independent piece. And we don't want it to be not related to or referred by anything else but just that. So that's what I mean by very, very beginning or very, very intense. We're looking for extreme, as I was saying prior, talents that look like a Gordon Keith, a Barry Gordy, a Jackson 5 when they were little, the older version, Joe Jackson, a Diana Ross, and everyone else that interacted with Mr. Gordon Keith, Ludie Washington, a Ben Brown, a Gordon Keith, a Willie Spencer, a Maurice Rogers, 5 men of Steel Town Records. So we're putting together now. The whole team and I are putting together now an extensive like a trial period where we're going to get cast companies, all Black preferred, right? Casting companies, maybe like 2 to 4 of them. They come together, but we'll not just take their word saying that they can cast, but putting them through like a test, a probation period, for 30 days to seeing, giving them examples of what we want, pertains to the lookalikes, we call it. And if they could do a good job, then pretty much take it from there and get that going